Good morning, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time this morning was all about the idea of decision and indecision. And I'm hoping that you recognize that the photo that I put at the beginning of this video is literally to give you a visual impression of indecision. And I was contemplating this morning about how many people, many clients I'm speaking with these days that are talking about indecision. And of course, this is what I help people with. So whether it's about spirituality or whether it's about more often health concerns, sometimes life concerns, sometimes decisions in career. And I hear a very common theme of this indecision. And of course, this is all about what should I do? I really think I want to do this, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. And I certainly have gone through these experiences myself. So, as I contemplated, and I recognized that even indecision over some length of time turns into a decision, right? Because an indecision that someone is stuck in, sometimes things are time sensitive, but no matter what, there is a time sensitivity that eventually arises because at some point, that indecision about something that could have happened months ago or days ago or even yesterday is no longer yesterday, right? It's now. We are in the now. And oftentimes I reflect on that idea, and today too, that in my career and certainly in my life, I've heard so much more about people who regret what they didn't do rather than what they did. And I think that's an important awareness for people to have. So, this was the first quotation that I came across, and it's by Maimonides. I think that's how I would say it. This quotation says, "The risk of a wrong decision is preferable to the terror of indecision. The risk of a wrong decision is preferable to the terror of indecision." And I thought about this and I thought, has it felt like terror when I've had to make a decision and worried about making the wrong decision? I will say that there has been a fear component to it. And so, in an extreme, it could feel like a terror. And I think people get into this space and either they're frozen in that indecision, which could be frozen from like, what could happen if I make the wrong decision? And oftentimes in our decisions in life, there's no right or not right. There's just better and not better. And sometimes we'll make a decision which turns out that doesn't work in the way that we had intended that it would work out. But it's still, in my opinion, and clearly from this quotation, it's preferable than that indecision space. A decision, a step is always preferable. And of course, I would want and encourage people to make decisions based on good intention, um, a clear awareness or uh, hope for good for all, not an intention to hurt anyone, an intention for something good to come out of a decision or an action or a word that's spoken. So, all of those things. And so then I came across another quotation, and this one is by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. And this quotation, which I really love, says, "Each indecision brings its own delays, and days are lost lamenting over lost days. What you can do or think you can do, begin it. For boldness has magic, power, and genius in it." And I so agree with this because I do think that even the smallest steps that we take has a certain boldness to it, right? That if you want to speak in an event and you're kind of shy about saying your thoughts, sometimes that boldness of being able to speak or encouraging yourself to speak is so much better than just lamenting over, I wish I had said that. And sometimes that can be to a friend or family member. And sometimes it can be in actions, right? So what we do is like, I really want to do this, but I didn't do it. And if I had done it, then I wouldn't be feeling like this today because I would have taken that step, right? So that lamenting over not taking a decision. But when you take a step, there is this boldness that is empowering you to take a step. And it does have, more often than not, what I've seen and experienced is it does have this magic power and genius behind it. There is, whether you want to call it an energy from God, or whether you want to call it something from the universe, which is how I think of things, or if you think of it in terms of luck or coincidence that things fall into place. They do. When it's a very clear decision made, there is something that happens that is empowered by this bit of magic that you just can't put your finger on as to how did that happen. And it might not happen immediately, is what I also want to mention, that sometimes it's over a bit of time that, wow, I'm so glad I said that a month ago because this happened from that. So that sort of idea. So I'd really like to encourage you to take 5 minutes after this video to just think of a step that might take some courage or some boldness, and welcome the magic that can push along your creation. And then, of course, I came across a couple of quotes that I thought were somewhat poetic, which I really wanted to share with you. The first one is by Dodinsky. And this quotation says, "Do not plant your dreams in the field of indecision, where nothing ever grows but the weeds of what if." Do not plant your dreams in the field of indecision, where nothing ever grows but the weeds of what if. And I've spoken to so many people who talk about what ifs. What if I had done this differently? What if I had said this? What if I had not said this? All of these things happen, but often it takes courage to do something, to not get stuck in thinking back about the weeds of what if. And then finally, I want to end with this beautiful quote by, my favorite, one of my favorites is Rumi. And this quotation says, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and rightdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there." I love that. I love it because that field that often people can only imagine, they're dreaming of. This is a field of possibilities. This is a field of infinite what ifs that are not weeds. They are ready to blossom. This is the field in front of us all. And if you can see that, I'll meet you there. I wish you a fantastic day ahead. I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life, and have a fantastic weekend ahead too. Have a great day, everyone.